How the heck are you guys? I'm Fastidious. We have quite an interesting banner coming tomorrow in Watcher of Realms. This is a special ancient summoning banner for one of the OG goats of the game, Praetus, insane Arbiter Lord, and then the brand new Arbiter Northerner fighter, Kane. So this video is not going to be too long. I want to get straight to the point and basically talk about the virtues of these characters and whether or not you should summon. But I'm going to tell you right out of the gate, I think a lot of people probably should, and a lot of people probably shouldn't. This is going to be the most 50-50 advice I've given in a long time, and it basically comes down to this. You're not summoning for Kane. A very, very, very small population of players might be, but those are not the ones watching my video for advice, because those are super, super high-end PvP players that are likely very heavy spenders, and they don't need advice from me. But to those people, I say, if you want to see if Kane is going to be, or if Kane's going to usher in some kind of definitive new meta in Arena specifically, because he is going to be Arena focused, he is not going to be a GVG hero at all, I really think it would do you good to wait a couple days. This banner is running through the weekend and to Monday, right? Monday, September 29th is when the banner ends. You have all of Monday to still decide. By then, you'll know the early returns, the news on Kane. Are people effectively using him in things like single target arena to have completely new dominant teams that are going to be the meta? Or is he just a good unit that's going to be viable in arena? There's no way he'll be worse than that, but he might not be meta shaping, and we can never really know until a unit like this arrives on the scene. A nice handful of top players get that character, and then we get to see how new strategies are implemented and how effective they actually are. So to people that are summoning specifically for Kane, I would really encourage you to not get trigger happy and not pull tomorrow, or if you're watching this tomorrow when the banner starts, don't pull on Saturday. At least wait till Sunday. And frankly, I think it would behoove you to wait until Monday, because we'll have a lot more information by then. This is not something you can really test on the test server since PvP is not a thing there. We're going to have to wait and see. I can tell you he's going to be good, quite good. But is he going to be God tier amazing, meta defining? We won't know. So be patient. That's basically the Kane spiel. For everyone else, you should be summoning for Praetus if you do choose to summon on this banner. But I will quickly say, if you do pick up a Kane, I think you can be pretty excited because he's such a unique character. And certainly if you have a younger account and you're still progressing through a lot of the PvE content in this game, then I think you can be really happy to have him. He is definitively the best cost regen unit in the game. The rest of his kit is pretty versatile, but that cost generation is going to come in clutch if you still have a lot of key things to defeat. He's going to be phenomenal in Gear Aid 2 for cost generation, at least up until 21. He is going to be the best cost generator in the game for Gear Aid 3 from stage 1 to stage 24. And then for general progression in things like campaign and stuff like that, anything else that might be coming our way where you might need cost generation, he will shine. But you should not be targeting a unit for that reason. So that's why I'm saying there's a select few that might go for Kane specifically because they care a ton about Arena. For everyone else, if you pick him up, I think you can be happy, but you should not be targeting him. So if you choose to summon on this banner, who should you be targeting? That's Praetus. And it's tough, because it feels like we're due for an Arbiter Lord, right? There's been a lot of rumors, not really any substantiated rumors from what I've seen, but there's been a lot of talk that we need a second Arbiter Lord, right? We have two chaotic lords with Valderon and with Gon, and every other normal faction. When I say normal versus not normal, to me, we kind of have the normal factions and the ancient factions. So we have our 7 normal factions, which comprise the Watchguard through Esoteria Order, and then our 2 ancient factions are the Chaos Dominion and the Supreme Arbiters. And in all the normal factions, we have 2 lords, except for the Esoteria Order, where we actually have 3. Then of our 2 ancient factions, the chaotic units, we've got 2 lords with Gon and Valderon. But then here with the Arbiters, it is just Praetus. So it really feels like the next Lord we should be getting should be an Arbiter, and it feels like this could be bait. What I'm saying is not based on any potential leak I heard of or rumor or anything. I just know there's been a lot of talk in the community that it feels like this is coming soon. Is soon a week? Is soon 6 months? Who knows? Maybe it will never happen. but it does feel like we're due. So this is interesting. That being said, I think a lot of people have lost sight of how powerful Praetus is. Because when you get deep into the game and you reach the end game, Praetus might spend less time in some of your team comps. I think a lot of those players have driven a narrative that now he's not super duper top tier, top 3 best lords in the game, and he absolutely is. Especially if you're still progressing, he's probably number 1, even including Ingrid. It really depends on the account until you get an A3 Ingrid. And then A3 Ingrid is still the queen, right? And she's the lord of an incredibly relevant faction with the Watchguard while being a member of Praetus's faction. But Praetus himself is phenomenal. And even in the end game, especially with Valara coming, he is really relevant now in PvP. He's always been amazing in Guild Wars. Nothing's changed there. He's still really good in Guild Wars, quite solid for BP affiliation, and phenomenally good at leading Arbiter defenses. So he's always been completely S+ top tier there. But then in Arena, with how good Ingrid is and how good Valara is, and the fact that Valara is not in Ingrid's faction, but Praetus can lord over both of them, he's everywhere now, right? If we click here, Praetus. If we click here, Praetus. If we click here, Praetus. If we click here, no Praetus. Here, one Praetus. Here, Praetus. You get it. He is super endgame meta again for Arena. He never wasn't, meta, but he's like definitive meta now in a lot of things. He's fantastic, and he's always been amazing in GVG. So if you care about PvP, having Praetus is so huge, right? He's such a major pickup for your account. And then if we're talking PvE stuff, if you're early or mid game, he is like the hardest progression carry imaginable. The power of his lightning hitting everywhere on the battlefield, what he is able to do with these different verdicts he can do, hitting everything with the true damage, and also the way you can spam this if you've got some other arbiters on your team and you can continually get that damage boost from the Sacred Blessing. It is so good. So whether if you go the 1 charge spam route or if you go for 3 charges for maximum damage, he's completely awesome. But yeah, I think some people have lost sight of that because people are no longer progressing and a lot of people aren't focused on PvP. People are really focused on bosses. And while he's really good against a couple of the Codex bosses, he's not that relevant anymore for guild bosses. He is still fantastic for Guild Boss 2, for APOC, but in Apocalypse, we have so many solutions now. There's so many ways to beat it. When it first came out, you kind of wanted to run one Praetus Arbiter team if you had it. That was so dominant. That is no longer the case at all. So though he's as good as ever there, he's just not special because there's so many other solutions and so many other factions you can run. And he's never been good in Guild Boss 1. Guild Boss 1, true damage just doesn't translate very well. The Arbiters are just not a good collection of units to run there. And Praetus obviously needs to be a Lord to be effective or to be, anything, to be special. And you're not going to run an Arbiter comp in Guild Boss. Of course you can in like Nightmare 4. There's a million ways to beat Nightmare 4 as well. So you could do it, but it is not going to be your best option and it is not going to be meta. So he's just not relevant there. And then he has no play in Abyss really. Not really any Abyss play at all. Arbiters again are not super special there. So I think he's gotten this rap now that he's just not as good as some of these other lords, where it's just not true at all. He's a god in PvP, he's a god in progression, and he still has his relevant PvE stuff late game, just a little bit less of it PvE end game, right? So if you think of something where you just need a lord, he's an excellent lord in Gear Raid 2, he's an excellent lord in Gear Raid 1, even all the way up to stage 24, he's just not the most deployable unit anymore for that. But that still is something, and fold in everything else, you know where you are progression-wise on your account, you can decide how much you need him. Everyone needs him, but you can decide how much you need him. So just use myself as an example. I don't have Praetus, and that sucks. I've pulled on 3 different Praetus banners. I think in total I counted, I've pulled over 450 times for Praetus, or maybe it's over 400 times across 3 banners. I've never pulled him. I've pulled 2 lords across those 3 banners, and both of them were King Hearts, because of course they were. So I have a difficult time deciding the best way to approach this banner. I think what I'm going to do is probably skip it because I just don't care that much about PvP, and I'm set everywhere else. The only lord that could help me progress anything in the game right now would be Nastia. Only lords would be Nastia or Soul Cadens. The only one I really want is Nastia. So it just doesn't make perfect sense. That's not to say Nasty is better than Praetus. She isn't. Praetus is better just for my specific endgame situation. However, if I was in my exact same situation, but I cared a lot more about Arena and Guild Wars, this would be the ultimate no-brainer of all time. So that is that 50-50 split. We have that minority that should go for Kane, that might want to go for Kane, and to them I say be patient, wait till Sunday or Monday. Then we have a minority that have Praetus and maybe multi-awakening Praetus, in which case, please skip this banner. But then of the larger population of players that don't have Praetus, it really comes down to this. How far are you with your progression? If you're not already endgame or close to it, I think you have to go for this banner, in my opinion. If you are to the later point of the late game, or if you are endgame, then I think it comes down to your priorities. If PvP is your priority, you have to go for this banner if you don't have him. If it's not, I think you can get away with skipping it. For me, I would be guaranteed, this actually isn't my account, I'm about to do a takeover, but I would be guaranteed to hit pity this banner. I've got over 50 ancients and I'm like 30 away. So I just don't think it is what I want. I want to wait and see who the next Lord is. I'm going to be patient, or I want to wait till the next time they put Nasty on rate up. That might be a long wait. But I think in general, if you're PvP oriented and you're deep in the game and you don't have him, go for him. If you don't have him, but you don't care about PvP and you're deep in the game, it's up to you. You can skip him. And if you're not deep in the game and you don't have him, oh my God, go get Praetus. What I will say is for Awakenings, his A1 is still insanely strong. That being said, because he's not everywhere anymore and you don't just need him for everything, I don't think you should necessarily be pulling for dupes. You absolutely can. This is an amazing Awakening, but I don't think you have to the way I would have in the past. You know, if this banner was 8 months ago, I would have been like, you got to do that. But yeah, I think probably hold your summons and wait for something new if you already have your one copy. That being said, if you're really into GVG, this A1 is a game changer. The A2 is obviously really nice. The A3 is obviously fantastic. The A5 is good. The A1 is the thing that fundamentally changes the timing and how his kit works. So that's the only Awakening I would suggest. For anything more, it comes down to your preferences, your play style, your priorities, and your spending habits. But there you have it, guys. Should you summon on this banner? I really think it comes down to the kind of player you are, if you have Praetus or not, and how deep into the game you are. If you have any specific questions you do not feel were addressed in this video, just ask below in the comment section and I'll try to get to all of them. I've been Fastidious. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, share with your mother, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.
Fastidious.